Well, good morning, everyone. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm going to tell everybody right off the bat here. Restream is having all kinds of issues. James keeps popping in and out. We're losing people and then we're bringing them back in. So hang in there with us, everybody. I don't know what's going to happen with TikTok today, but apparently there are some serious network, central network issues going on. So if we lose connection or something crazy happens, we'll pop back on. But hopefully it won't be that bad. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Holly, welcome back.
Hey, I never left. I'm afraid to leave. You guys will lock the door behind me. So
No chance of that happening. No chance. Good morning, James. Oh, you're muted.
Didn't want to come off unmute, but
There
good morning.
Go. Good morning. Good morning. Alex, boy, we got a note from X that I
It's
sent
live.
Alex.
It's live. I already checked it. We're good.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool.
It's fine. Apparently, the Biden administration is running technology again.
Exactly. Now, that reminds me of when Obama launched that Obamacare website. They spent how many millions of dollars on it, and it was crash after crash. President Trump launches Trump RX, and it's seamless, absolutely seamless, incredible, perfect example of red versus blue. Winning, exactly. And everybody knows I don't get into the whole Democrat Republican thing. I look at people's actions, and that speaks volumes in and of itself. Well, let's say some good mornings here. Let's see who we have joining us so far. Oh, boy. Holy smokes. Look at this chat. Vicky Veronic is here. Mary Lise Brown. Mary Lise said, good morning, everyone. Sorry about yesterday. What happened yesterday? Did Mary Lise Brown do something that I should have known about? I don't know. GG20 is here. Ego from Eastern Iowa. Good morning. Nurse Grand Rising Sam Fam. I just love that phrase. Good morning, Nurse. PJ Party, one of our two true cheerleaders here with us. Wildlife fan, Joy, Doug Rice 59. Of course, we have Stein. Good morning, everybody. Lisa Maria, the star of the show. There she is. She holds it all together. She's the glue that holds it all together in the background. Benji, 1959, said, good morning from sunny East Texas. Good morning, Big Ben. Kathleen Garcia is here as well. Blue Flames 41 said, good morning, all. Just here for entertainment and educational purposes only. Exactly. And there is our other cheerleader, Towie Bixby. Good morning, Towie. Allie Mae is here. Good morning, Allie. Kevin Kiesler, I'm married to Bob, Beaver, Sherry, Martins WB, Lynette Ranley, holy smokes, Squidly 77, Tanya Moonsheiber, boy, the whole gang's piling in. David's here. Hey, David. Batten Ballin said, good morning, beautiful. You too, Sam, Alex, and James. Exactly. She definitely brought us up a whole nother level. No question about it. Kelly Thurman. Oh, we got a Trump train. Wow, already. Kelly Thurman's here said, happy terrific Thursday. Yes, it is. Melissa Flinner just popped in. XRP Mama. Jan Lovin being grandma. Holy smokes. The whole gang is here. Brian is here. Uh-oh, we lost Holly again.
Yep, I got it.
I know. Jeez Louise. Native San Diegan said, I'm here to get my daily fix. Charlie is here. Wendy J. Holy smokes. The whole gang's here. All right. Well, oh, hey, Richard Pacente and David Morales are here over on YouTube. Good morning, gentlemen. All right. Well, let's see here. Alex, let's get some indices going.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody, on this wonderful 12th of February, 2026. Looking at the markets, S&P 500 is down 77 points to 6,863. Dow Industrials down 558 points to 49,563. NASDAQ is down 366 points. Oh, lost my screen. It's not technology. 22,695. Digging over into the commodities market, looking at the natural gas, crude oil, $62 $1.84 a barrel, down $1.71. Looking at gold spot price, silver spot price currently down $135, $134 at $4,949 for gold, $77.05 for silver. You want me to go ahead and cover Dave?
Yeah.
While he's out, looking at corn, looks like it's up 1.9. Soybeans is up 9. Wheat is up 9. Wow. And what's the other? Cattle and hogs, he does. Feeder cattle down 3, and looks like hogs are pretty much across the board even, at up down 0.1%.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. And so everybody knows Dave is at the farm show again. Exactly. And I put farm show in air quotes, but he won't be with us today, but we're wishing him nothing but the best. Let's see here. Kathleen Garcia, Barb7599, Charlie, April Burgess, everybody sending gifts this morning. Thank you, Melissa Flinner, Mary Lise Brown. Thank you for the Trump train. Very sweet. What a way to start off the show. Lynette Ranley said, good morning from a beautiful Thursday in Central Texas. Exactly. Gen X Nick is here. Good morning, Gen X. Sue B, Charlie, holy smokes. Wendy's here. Hi, Wendy. Hey, Chris Romano just popped in. And Sassy Minnesota Girl, I Speak 1717 is here as well. Welcome in, everybody. All right, let's see here. James, what do we have for a military report today, sir?
Well, good morning, everybody. Today, we'll be talking about the U.S. Navy. The United States Navy has officially accepted delivery of a Virginia-class fast attack submarine, the USS Idaho, SSN 799, is the 26th submarine of its class and will be commissioned this spring, April 25th. The sub has been designed for enhanced stealth, special warfare capabilities, and enhanced surveillance. The new USS Idaho will be the 5th Navy ship named for the gem state. Idaho is where the first nuclear submarine reactor was built in 1951, and as known as today as the Idaho National Laboratory in Idaho Falls. The standard dimensions of a Virginia-class sub is 377 feet long, 34 feet wide, displacing 7,800 tons, and has a speed over 25 knots.
Oh.
And it is propelled with an S9G nuclear reactor, and it has 132 to 145 crew members. The cost, just a mere $4.3 billion. There are 12 more Block 4 submarines on order, and there are 3 Block 5 subs on order, and they are 461 feet long.
Wow, what a report, James. Thank you. Speaking of Idaho Falls, I spent quite a bit of time in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, a few years ago, and I have been to Idaho Falls. What a beautiful, beautiful area.
Unless you're playing hockey. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole cold weather thing doesn't fly with me, but other than that, it's beautiful. Mama Bear is here. Well, Mama Bear, good morning. Glad you could make it. Oh, let's see here. Oh, that's really interesting. Franny Dragonfly is here. Hi, Franny. Happy Thursday, everyone, she says. Well, happy Thursday to you as well. Hey, Dee just showed up. Hi, Dee. All right, so let's move into some stories here. So I have been waving the red flag about our grid here in the United States for years. Well, we got another Trump train. Electricity demand is surging. The grid isn't ready, according to the IEA. Now, I don't know if we're going to see something cataclysmic take place, but if for no other reason, we have the equivalent of a third world country grid. Alex, what do you think? You think we're going to see anything coming from that?
Well, there have been inklings. The sun is really active right now. Carrington events possible. It's no surprise to us on the show, and many of us, that many of the systems in the United States are pretty antiquated, because apparently we've been sending all the money that should have gone to upgrade those systems and our infrastructure to Somalia. So, it's time, and I think that it will probably have a light shined on it, and the cockroaches will scatter, and the money will be appropriated accurately to help us get our infrastructure back on track. But it's not in a good spot.
Right. And I think as the grid, there's all this push for EVs, right? There has been for so many years now. And now that Samsung has developed this new battery where it looks like it could actually make EVs worth it, that would put even more strain on the grid. Holly, what do you think?
I may or may not be married to someone that spent his whole life being a lineman. So I have the inside of the grid story. So yeah, we are. This is why I look to those mini nuclears. I absolutely look at that. The money was not put where the money should have been put. Decades of maintenance with no investment.
100%.
And when you're just trying to fix stuff and you're not adding to.
Exactly. James.
And
sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
Well, I was just going to say, to add to that real quick. So my brother-in-law and grandfather-in-law, also lineman, all the transformers, who makes them right now?
Exactly.
Is that a national security event?
Amen.
If we can't replace, if we did have an event such as a Carrington event or something happened, there months and months before we could even think about having those transformers and capacitors and all the things that it takes to run that electrical grid. Guess where they're all made? China.
Exactly.
Wow.
And we had that big fire where so much was eliminated, and these supply yards were really scratching their heads. There were no replacement transformers. COVID, they couldn't bring any in. There's some issues.
Wow. James?
Well, Holly touched on it. Small nuclear powered areas, military bases bring in nuclear to take care of their bases. The U.S. electric grid is split into 3 regions: Eastern, Western, and Texas interconnection. There are 7,300 power plants nationally using fossil fuels, nuclear, and renewable energy. There has been fragmented planning, lack of unified national planning, jurisdictional issues, and supply chain delays. Things like COVID, obviously, like Holly said, they don't help.
Right, 100%. Hey, Layson Steele just made it. Melissa Flinner, thank you all for the gifts. Very sweet of you. John Langloy just popped in. Good morning, John. Andrea Lynn, 81. John said, happy Thursday, everyone. It is a happy Thursday, isn't it, John? Valerie James is here. Good morning, Valerie. Over on YouTube, Earl Shannon said, good morning, 3 guys and a lady. Exactly. Couldn't be more accurate. David Morale said it's National Plum Pudding Day. What? What the hell is Plum Pudding Day? I've never heard of that before. But he's in the UK, so who knows? Anything's possible with those guys over there. Kathleen Paschke's here over on Facebook. She said, good afternoon, Sam fam. FYF, for context, this live is for entertainment and educational purposes only. You guys always have our back. I just love it. Kingsgirl 1974 just showed up. Joe Lynn as well. D said, good morning, Lisa Maria. I know, Lisa's so sweet. All right, let's move on. So, James, we're going to come to you first on this one. We talked yesterday about El Paso, Texas, shutting down both private and commercial air flights and saying that it was going to last 10 days. Well, it looks like the U.S. military came out with a report. They were shooting down Mexican cartel drones with a high-powered laser, and within a few hours, the whole issue was resolved. What do you make of it, James?
Well, you're going to probably get a kick out of this. City officials of El Paso were complaining that they had no prior notification of this event. Does that tell you anything? Intelligence revealed that the attack was going to take place, and we reacted like we were in war. The mayor said this unnecessary decision has caused chaos and confusion in El Paso and the community. And he said, I want to be very, very clear that this shouldn't have never happened. We reacted to a wartime situation, solved the problem just like that. We stopped traffic in the air for the safety of the public and everybody else around, including those in Mexico, because that line is right there when you come around the corner at the end of the Franklin Mountains. So it's unbelievable that somebody said this shouldn't have happened when all we're doing is defending the United States of America. There is no notice. There's no notice for defense. You react, you take care of the issue. There's,
Amen.
oh, Pete Hegseth didn't call me.
Yeah, I know. Holly, do you think there's more to the story than they're letting on?
Well, the only thing is I keep going back to the picture we were talking about with President Trump standing on top of the transition between the West Wing and what's over his head. This is the day before. All those drones. So it's like we kind of just see them in the background. And now this is part of the story. I think that the word drones is going to become part of our everyday vocabulary more and more.
Well, I would agree with you. And I'm such a nerd at heart. I love technology. I've had drones. The first drone I bought was in, I think, 2014. And I've loved them ever since. So I think you're right. We're going to be seeing a hell of a lot more when it comes to drones. Alex?
Mexican cartels have increasingly deployed drones for operations along the U.S.-Mexico border, including drug drops, scouting migrant crossings, evading detection. This incident escalated as tensions between the U.S. and Mexico, with the Trump administration threatening unilateral military action against such threats. Similar drone sightings have been reported in El Paso in the past, including uses for lookouts for illegal activities. On the U.S. side, the Border Patrol employs its own drones to enforce surveillance. Department of Defense said, no, you don't. Not going to happen. Not here in the States. We're going to shoot them down. The drones are bad.
Not on our watch. Exactly. Hey, Martini Time's here. Hey, Martini Time. XRP Mama just popped in. I Speak 1717 said, well said, James. Boy, isn't that the truth? We can always count on James to be unfiltered and come straight out with the truth. I love that. Jerry BR said, that's because they feel they were out of the loop and they think they're above everyone else in El Paso, Texas. Lisa Maria said, Pete Hegseth can call anytime.
Anytime.
Holy smokes.
Don't even call, Pete. Just
Exactly. The ladies on the show are all over Pete Hegseth. Figuratively, I'm sure, but nevertheless. Oh, my gosh. All right, so let's move on. Oh, so this next story was from Derek Evans over on X. And he said that police in India arrested 11 people who issued over 100,000 fake university degrees in medicine, nursing, and engineering. My question is, if that's the case, what, if any, of those are in practice here in the U.S.? Now, Don the Third G sent me a message this morning saying, well, don't they have to pass some sort of, test in order to be able to practice here in the U.S.? I don't know the answer to that. Holly, what do you think?
So this brought up another one of the COVID issues. They were bringing them in droves for nursing during COVID. How many? I mean, and I'm sorry, and it's not, I'm just Indian doctors are prevalent in the United States.
100%. I agree.
And in that article, read how many thousand was it? There was a lot. We're talking licenses. In
100,000 fake degrees.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. James?
Paper milling is nothing new. The University Grants Commission, or also known as the UGC, regularly publishes a list of unauthorized universities. Recent large-scale scams have prompted international concern. Crackdowns happening in the United States, Australia, Canada, and Singapore. The recent bust was over 100,000 forged certificates from 22 different universities.
Yeah, exactly. So Teresa Ann, in response to Lisa Maria and Pete Hegseth, she said, at Lisa Maria, yum, is all she said. Easy, ladies. You better pump the brakes here. Oh, my gosh. Chris Romano said, no call needed for Hegseth. Oh, my gosh. You guys are just cracking me up. Alex, anything to add on that?
Well, yeah, I probably the number one employer we're going to find out of these individuals is probably the pharmaceutical companies.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I certainly would not be surprised. Hey, boss lady is here. Teresa Faria. Good morning, Teresa. Glad you could make it.
I think a lot of that has to do with the healthcare thing too, Alex. I mean, who better to install?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Brian had some advice for the ladies in the chat. I won't repeat it all live, but I see it, Brian. I see it. All right, so let's move on. Oh, Anna Garcia's here over on Facebook. Hey, Anna. So Russia said it will stick to the nuclear arm limits if the U.S. does the same. What was interesting is Medvedev came out in that same quote and said, "Winter is coming." That's an ominous statement to make. Alex, what do you make of it?
I think equally in all of the governments across the world, you got the white hats and you got the gray hats and you got the black hats, and I think there is there's a disagreement going on in the background as Trump comes in with the white hat and continues to clean out the deep state. There's going to be resistance. There's going to be pushback. He's getting rid of the boogeyman, right? I mean, go back to when my parents or grandparents, Cuban Missile Crisis, even they used to train in the schools for these exactly type of events, right? Get under the desk, put your head between your. Are we going back to those times? I hope not. I think peace through strength is on full display, and if a perceived threat happens to come on the radar, we already know that this administration is going to very swiftly, quickly stop that. So. Is it saber rattling? Are they trying to start something? Which side is Medvedev on saying things like that? I think it points pretty clearly to where he sits.
Right. Holly, do you think that we're going to see an escalation in the nuclear interactions?
I think that it's like Alex said, we eliminated so much so quick in Iran, going, like you said, let's get rid of the boogeyman. They use that for so many decades for their war money, because those wars make a lot of money. Trump's going to step up and go, we're just going to eliminate it. We're going to take action before there's a problem. And so he's like knocking them off before we have an issue to do this again. Escalation in words, but they know this is a president that he's going to act. He's not going to just talk.
Yeah. President Trump doesn't play around, James.
The New START treaty has expired, leaving no legal binding limits on the world's two largest nuclear arsenals for the first time in more than 50 years. U.S. and Russia hold about 90% of global nuclear warheads. The old agreement limited each side to 1,550 deployed warheads and 700 delivery vehicles. Russia has 4,309. The United States has 3,700 deployed and stored warheads.
100%. Wendy J. in response to Brian's post that I'm not going to repeat, said, Brian, we've got floats and paddles. You guys, holy smokes. Wendy said, laughter is the best medicine. It's very true. AJMC. What's that?
Sorry, one more thing to add to the nuke conversation. The United States Department of Defense has acknowledged 32 broken arrow events, and what that is missing nuclear devices. Combine that with uranium-1, we can take care of threats that we know about, but what about the ones that we don't know about? And I think that's what concerns me. Look at the number of confirmed individuals that have been allowed into our country with open doors that have still yet to be dealt with. So, we say keep your head on a swivel, and would the deep state try to perpetrate something unexpected like that? I think they're quite capable of doing it if we follow events of the past. So, the picture of him with drones over his head, let's pay attention to what they're telling us when they're telling us.
Well, and I think that's the premise of the movie, The Sum of All Fears. Mm-hmm. When Morgan Freeman is asked, are you worried about Russia? Are you worried about these major countries? He says, I'm not worried about the major powers. I'm worried about one rogue country that has access to maybe a suitcase nuclear device or something like that. And I think that's something to certainly pay attention to.
Some sources claim upwards of 50 to 100 nukes worldwide went missing during the Cold War.
Yep, exactly. At the fall of the Soviet Union. Yeah.
It just takes one. It
Yeah,
just takes one.
exactly. Exactly. Then the finger pointing starts and then all hell breaks loose. Let's just hope and pray it
Well,
doesn't come to that.
even if the finger pointing doesn't start, 100 miles circle around the spot that it happens is done. I mean,
Yeah.
is done, and the cascades that happen after that. So imagine that going off in. I mean, what if it landed right where you're at, Sam? 100-mile circle around you. What is that? I mean, that's San Diego. That's I mean, that's
A lot of people. Yeah.
holy crap.
Melissa Flinner said, "Let's hope for the sake of humanity that they keep the peace." Very wise wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom words. Lisa Maria, thank you for all the gifts. You're so sweet. John Gwynn just showed up. Well, hello, John. It's about time you get your butt over here, young man. All right, moving on. So Sam Bankman-Fried, we all know he was the FTX guy, that essentially was blamed for the FTX collapse. Well, apparently, and I find his name very interesting, Sam Bankman-Fried, like let go. Central casting. Anyway, he has now filed a pro se motion, which basically means he's defending himself and trying to reopen his case. And apparently, it's his mother that is doing it. Holly, what do you make of it?
It's just like you say, central casting. This whole thing, I was just like, oh, who is this guy? And then they're going, oh, he's been around for this long and he's tied to this. And we're like, this name just, whatever they need to create and put in front of us, it's like we just needed another plate spinning.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth, Alex?
Exactly. They're putting those up for us.
Yep. Alex?
The man is Ponzi scheme extraordinaire. I think there were a lot of people that were taking advantage of the crypto market specifically. He didn't do us any favors, and so why are they bringing him, or why is he coming back into the spotlight? I think it will be interesting to see possibly another disclosure event.
It could very well be, James.
He's representing himself. It makes it pretty easy.
It's definitely the digital version of Bernie Madoff. There was, for the people that don't know, there was a massive crypto exchange collapse. The dude misappropriated $8 billion in customer funds to finance his hedge fund, Alameda Research. The run on the bank is what revealed the massive holes, which harnessed Friedman 25 years in a prison sentence. Regulatory crackdowns happen for a reason. You think about, people have figured it out. Look at the Haktua girl. How much money was created in a cryptocurrency, and then all of a sudden, boom, gone, collapse.
Right.
Same kind of shit. People have it figured out. He's going to go to jail for 25 years. I don't know how old he is, but if he got out at 80 and they could never find that 8 billion, he's a rich man, right?
Right. That's not to say he couldn't control those funds from inside as well through a family.
True that.
And speaking of central casting, isn't it interesting? Well before Q ever came on the scene, we had Bernie Madoff with the money.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This thing with Q goes way back further than I think most people realize. All right. Well, let's see here. Excuse me. XRP Mama said, Shakespeare said it. All the world is a stage. Well, it certainly is right now. Isn't that the truth? Nut said it's a movie. It is, very much so. I believe you're right. So moving on, Secretary of War Hegseth and Secretary Rollins signed a memorandum of understanding to advance the National Farm Security Action Plan. They said food security is national security.
Mhm.
Now, how many Chinese investors have bought farmland in America? What do you think, Alex?
There's another group we've had on here, the We the People, Liberty and Justice, and those people have done a good job of putting together a map showing, and it's not easy to find all the information and correlate it into a single source of all of the lands, where they're at, what states, how many acres, what they're close to, what they're doing, and they also also compiled a list of, interestingly enough, mosques and where they have been erected and where their locations are, and it's the age of disclosure, right? What states are fighting back? I know Arkansas governor has said no, not in our state. It's one of us go over to China and decide to buy a bunch of land. How's that going to go?
Right, exactly. Uh-oh, we lost Holly
I
again.
got it.
I
Yes,
know.
sir.
I know. James?
A memorandum of understanding, it's usually a non-binding agreement between two parties outlining mutual goals, roles, and intentions for collaboration without creating legal liabilities. It acts as a framework for future and more formal accords. The two parties are working together to enhance agricultural security against vulnerabilities and technologies.
Right. Going back to the last story, Dave Bouchard over on Facebook said, if you think about it, how much of our taxpayer dollars has gone to these other countries so they can develop their nuclear arsenal? Exactly. That's a very good point. How many pallets of cash did Obama send to Iran? Hundreds of billions, or at least billions. I don't know if hundreds of billions, but billions of dollars. That's crazy. Those are crazy numbers. All right, let's move on. So, according to Zero Hedge, real estate stocks crashed in the latest AI scare trade. Real estate services stocks plunged the most since COVID, this time on fears that AI will make them obsolete. Now, Holly, do you think that I've been saying for years that we're going to have a correction in the stock market, we're going to have a correction in the real estate market, and it hasn't happened. Do you think this may have something to do with that?
Yes, and I know that we're going through so many changes right now. Just they're starting to raise a lot of questions about real estate agents and selling your home. Do it with AI. You can save your money here. We know we're sitting on the brink of course, a bubble in housing. So overvalued. We hear about all of the revaluation of so many things: food, electricity, all of our energy sources. Well, real estate's right at the top of the list of things that, you know what, President Trump, 50-year mortgages, uh, it might not make sense when you talk about where interest rates and stuff are now, but that's not where he thinks. He thinks about stuff is, what if you are talking about 0.03 mortgage rates?
Exactly.
Things like that. People can get in.
Where you're
And
buying a
it's like,
home now for
yes,
$500,000 and you're spending a million or a million
yeah.
and a half to own it in 30 years. Ridiculous.
So I think so much he's talking about what's coming down the pike. So much is changing, and I think real estate is right at the top of that list of things have to change.
Yep. Alex, you were shaking your head no.
The 50-year mortgage, you're right. It doesn't sound right at the current rates. What does it look like if rates come down to 1%, 2% over that course? You say a $500,000 home costs you $1 million. I would beg to differ that it costs you probably even much more than that, because not only are you paying the interest on the mortgage, you're paying the tax on the property that you are supposed to own, and all of the insurance costs that go on top of it. The little piece of property I have in the Midwest here in the middle of nowhere, insurance has gone up $1,500 a year on the home. That's it doesn't seem like much money, but when you're shelling out $6,000 a year for property insurance, that factors into the cost. There's definitely a housing bubble going on. As of February 2026, the housing market remains elevated, but is showing clear signs of cooling rather than bubbling. So we get one narrative on one side, and on the other side they're fighting desperately to keep this housing bubble alive. So I will have to just wait and see how the man doesn't pass gas without planning 10 minutes ahead of time who he's going to crop dust. So he's got a plan for it. We'll just have to wait and see what that is.
Exactly. Mary Louise Brown, thank you for all the gifts. Blue Flames 41, Wendy J, thank you. Hey, Truthers here. Lindsay's here from the UK. Glad you could make it, Lindsay. Glad you're here. Callie Bixby said, wasn't it 700 billion in cash pallets and pallets? I don't know if it was that high. I know it was in the billions, but I don't remember the exact numbers at this point.
Sam Bankman, is that what she's asking?
No, about the money we sent to Iran, or Obama sent to Iran.
6 billion in cash on planes.
6 billion. Yeah. Ridiculous amounts of money. James?
The massive sell-off is driven by weak earnings forecast and the AI scare. Zillow's down 20%, Rocket Mortgage down 10%, Allied Properties down 27%. The AI scare trade that equals investors are rotating out of high-fee, labor-intensive business models vulnerable to AI automation, particularly following new AI tools released by firms like Anthropic. Existing home sales down 8.4% in January alone.
Yeah, I have to think that we're going to have a correction, but I thought the same with the stock market. But with it being at 50,000 and President Trump saying it's going to 100,000, there may be another attack vector here that I'm not thinking of. Now, whether that's a slow roll into some new monetary system, which I believe is happening as we speak, how it's going to play out and when, well, your guess is as good as mine at this point. Boss Lady said, does that mean that house prices are going to crash? Well, that's what I thought was going to happen. But the way we're going through this, I also thought there was going to be, a cataclysmic events that were going to switch the entire landscape. And it's been the opposite. It's been a process. It's been a slow roll as opposed to a catalyzing event. Now that could change, but I don't know. I mean, I think, what is it? 50-60% of commercial real estate is underwater at this point in America. That's a big deal. In fact, today I just read an article this morning about retail office space here in the Los Angeles area is getting converted to apartment complexes. So maybe that's the direction we're going. It won't be a crash. Maybe it'll be a slow transition. I don't know.
What did they make in that warehouse, Sam?
No, it wasn't a warehouse. It was a retail office building.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be fairly simple to turn into an apartment, I would think. But again, see, that's part of the problem here in California, specifically in LA, is Newsom about 2 years ago passed some legislation where they could subdivide the properties into 4 parts now. So you may have one home that's turned into 4 homes, but that impacts the roads and the traffic. You have 4 times the amount of people coming into a certain area. That's a problem, especially if they haven't thought it through, from a planning standpoint. Just go in, just change one property into 4. That's a problem.
He's a professional at doing things without planning.
Isn't that the truth? Well, I personally think he's been dealt with, but we just
Except his hair.
It. Huh?
Except his hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He takes that off and sits it on the counter for 3.0 to roll out.
Exactly. Slick Willie had nothing on him. Oh, heck, we got to do sponsors. Okay, sponsor break, everybody. So, Mike Lindell, MyPillow. If you need anything that Mike has to offer, he needs our support. Go to mypillow.com, use the discount code SAM, and you'll get up to 80% off of all of your purchases. Secondly, Neil Naturopathic, chemical-free, toxin-free hair care products. Go to my website. You know what it is. I can't say it out loud. Click on Dr. Neil's button, Neil Naturopathic. Use the code SAM20, SAM20, and you'll get a 20% discount. Also, Dr. Peter Glidden. Doc will be with us again tomorrow, Friday. He's with us every Friday. He has compiled a website that is chock full of health and wellness guidance. I would encourage everyone to go. In fact, he's got some changes that he's making to that he's going to talk about tomorrow. I won't get into it today, but trust me, if you're going to do it now, because the prices are going up. We'll still get our discounts, but go to Dr. Glidden's button on my website, use the code SAM, and you'll get a 30% discount. And of course, Best Line Racing, the best fuel and engine additives on the market today. Go to my website, click on Best Line Racing, use the code SAM for your discount. And most importantly, at this point, Alex, what about meditation?
If you go to my TikTok account, you can see in my bio, there is a link to the Amazon store where you can purchase a beginner's guide to a life-changing meditation. It's the easy road to a peaceful mind. Looks like this. If you can see Lighthouse on the front, book 2 is 92%.
All right. Well, we're all waiting for that, Alex, and we're going to keep the pressure on you there. Q17 just showed up. He said, "Grand Rising family, Grand Rising to you as well." Q17, also known as Scott Anon. All right. Somebody had posted something here. I think it was, Jerry BR 549 said October 17th of 2023. The U.S. is said to have handed 150 billion to Iran in 8 years as tensions have risen.
Ooh.
So it's much higher than I thought it was. Interesting. Thank you, Jerry, for that. Hey, Hitesh just showed up. Good morning, Hits. Glad you could make it. And Charlie and everyone else out there, thank you all for sharing this live out. We get stuck in these algorithms with TikTok. We don't know why, but when you share out this live, it helps us. When you put FYF in the chat, it helps us. When you put this show is for education and entertainment purposes only, that helps us as well. So thank you to everyone who's doing that.
The likes, the thumbs up, and the heart me's on TikTok also help.
Yes. Oh, we got another Trump train from Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. Love the Trump trains. Just love them. All right. So the Trump administration can now end protected status for nationals of 3 more countries. Those countries being Nepal, Honduras, and Nicaragua. James, what do you make of that?
Basically, the stay allows termination of programs to continue. In James's terms, they gone.
Yeah, exactly. Holly?
Yeah, it's like they're just adding to the countries. They just these rogue judges put a stay on stuff. He's a patient man, waits for it to go through the process. They roll it out, and it won't be long until we either get the judges gone or they just roll up in a corner.
Exactly. Alex?
You're fired.
Exactly. So Bobby, Deanna P., Cindy Hayden, Teresa Ann, Doug Rice, Kathleen Garcia, Stuart Ford, all of you putting Nurse putting FYF, Lynn Craft, Deanna P. You guys have our back. I just love that. Thank you so much for doing that. Lynn Craft said, "Great entertainment daily." Exactly. Exactly. All right, so let's move on. This next story is very, very interesting, and I'm not really sure what to make of it. Now, Alex, I'm going to come to you first on this because I don't understand fully what it is. Oh, look at that carriage from Nina. Oh, thank you, Nina, for the pumpkin carriage. So we have Elon Musk talking about X money, and he said that they were doing a closed beta within X, and that's now done. And in the next 1 to 2 months, they'll have a limited external beta and then go live to all the X users. He further went on to say, quote, "This is intended to be the place where all money is, the central source of all monetary transactions." Those are some heavy, heavy words, Alex. What do you make of that?
I think it's going to be hyperbole, build it up, make it really big, talk great about it, all these things, put eyes on it. Facebook has the ability for you to click on somebody and send them money. I think they're probably going to roll something out along those lines. But the bigger piece to that is, how is that transaction going to happen? And I believe it's probably going to be on a blockchain ledger type scenario. We'll have to wait and see. Elon integrated payment and financial services platform with the X app, formerly Twitter. It aims to transform X into the everything app by combining social media, communication, commerce, financial tools into a single ecosystem. And he's talked about this before, the peer-to-peer payments, the outside payments, all of those things. Look, Amazon has it too. You can get what is it called? The Amazon, give me just a second.
Amazon coins?
No, they have a, let's see here.
Because they discontinued that coin thing, and people that own coins, they refunded them.
Not the coins. They have, what is it called?
Well, while you look that up, James, give us your 2 cents on this.
Amazon Flex is what they call it. So the Amazon Flex account, while it's not crypto, you can set up, basically it's a banking account through Amazon. So you can put money in and use your Flex card, which is backed by Visa. So I think X and Elon and his wisdom is looking to upset the Apple Cart in payment systems. So we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
Hit that mute button. Go ahead, James.
Well,
Wow,
X Money
excuse me, everybody. Sorry, James. Go ahead.
it's the personal finance game changer. The users handle messaging, shopping, and full asset management all in one place. X Money has secured money transmitter licenses in more than 40 U.S. states and strategic partners with payment giants like Visa. Elon Musk, his target is 600 million active users. That's a pretty big theater of people to bank on.
Very
He's a smart
much,
man.
very much so.
Well, key features are digital wallet, P2P, person-to-person transfers, bill payments and shopping, future expansions hints at high-yield savings, loans, asset management to rival traditional banks. The dude's, again, he's an innovator, right? The guy woke up one morning and said, I'm going to build rockets and send people to Mars. So do I think he's capable of creating a new financial system? He was part of PayPal, right? Like, how big is PayPal today? The dude knows what he's doing.
Right. So, Holly, do you think this is part of this whole switch that I've been talking about for years?
Yes, and this I tie this back to an interview he did. They were talking about PayPal, and then they asked him about cell phone technology, and he went in that conversation to say, because there was a big call for him to make the Pi phone, the Tesla phone, and he started talking about X Money, and he tied it all together. He says, I want to rival PayPal, but he was talking about this technology of this phone tied to the blockchain, tied to all technology, and X Money would be built into that cell phone. So I'm kind of one of those people that is constantly waiting for this cell phone because it's going to change everything. He's building everything into that technology. Blockchain, payment processing, everything's going to be recorded, and it will be what's the word?
Unalterable.
Yes.
Non-fungible.
Yes. So I think this man has got so much coming so fast, slamming into each other. We're going to be dealing with a whole lot in a little bit.
100%. I agree. James?
Well, basically what you're saying, Holly, is his pineal gland is wide open.
Amen.
Pineal gland? Yeah, exactly. Towie Bixby said the Wax Sam app is now available on the Google Play Store. Come on now, you guys. Oh,
wait, I got to make a note on that one. Hold on. Wax,
Yeah,
what was that? Wax Sam app. Wax.
Oh,
Sam.
jeez. Thanks a lot, Towie. Jeez.
Okay. Now let's do a quick survey. What is the target that app needs to accumulate for Sam to not be able to say no?
200,000 followers.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's donations. It's donations on the app. So I'm going to say $10,000, and
let's put it this way: the number has to be big enough that if I'm going to do that, it's going to be live streamed, and all of you are coming here to California for it to happen. So
10K.
whatever that number is, it's got to be enough for air flights for everyone and accommodations.
Well,
I got property. Bring your tents.
There's 10 cities in LA. We've got accommodations.
Yeah, exactly. Holy smokes, Towie. See what you did. Oh my gosh.
Lee said 1,700. That's too cheap, Lee. That's too cheap.
Exactly. John Gwynn's gonna tap out. He's working today. Thanks for being here, John.
You're fired.
Did I miss a Trump train? Or no, was that an old one? I don't know. Somebody said I missed the Trump train, but I didn't see it. Wendy J said, I want to hear Sam yell at the strip pole. Thanks a lot, Wendy J. Jeez. Melissa Flinder said, I'm in. Oh, gosh.
Wax Sam app. I'll get on that today.
Holy smokes. You guys are just cracking me up. All right. So did I get everybody on that X Money story?
Yes.
Okay. I completely went off the rails there. Bat and Ball said, I want to hear Sam yell Kelly Clarkson. Oh, my gosh. JP Metal Slayer Sam, he gets waxed a man-o'-lantern. Oh my gosh. PJ Party said, I'll bring the gag ball for Sam. I don't know what concerns me more, that you're going to bring a gag ball or that you actually own one, PJ Party. Exactly. You just let the whole cat out of the bag.
Oh my word, we are off the rails.
I'm telling you, we are so far. We are low tide banging. I'm telling you, completely off the rails. You got to have some fun while we do it. Okay, so moving on. So big story, huge story. The U.S. House passed the Save America Act, requiring proof of citizenship for voting. Well, it was a 218 to 213 vote. Now the bill moves on to the Senate. Do you think, James, that we are going to have this actually passed here in the near future or not?
Well, it's complicated. First of all, you got to look at the vote. It was pretty narrow, 218 to 213. I want to know who the 213 were that voted for it, for against it. It's going to be an uphill battle in the Senate. However, one Democrat like Henry Chuler out of Texas sided with Republicans in this bill, so that gives us some hope. Proof of citizenship. The Southern Poverty Law brings up the Southern Law Center brings up a very good point. They estimate that 21 million Americans neither have a copy of their birth certificate or a passport. That's a problem. And people think that the SAVE Act, the left is crowing, saying that that's what they're exactly trying to play into, and basically buying a bill that bypasses and doesn't get to count that vote that would probably be typically on the left.
Right, exactly. Holly?
Well, it may have passed the House. And this morning, John Thune joined the Kosha sponsorship for the SAVE Act, but he's also the guy that said he won't do anything with the filibuster, which now puts us to what, 65? Okay, we're at 45. We've got to have a bunch of people jump over. If he's not going to mess with the filibuster, this is a problem.
Yeah, I would agree. Alex?
Great, it got through Congress. Awesome. Is it going to get through Senate? No. The saving grace in that is we are going to have the biggest flashlight that you could possibly shine on the cockroaches to find out who is on which side of the fence. We need it. I mean, again, I'll use the example. Let's all book a trip. Let's go to Mexico or Iran or China, and let's go get in line to vote. Oh wait, they don't.
Well, just like
we look like that.
Well, we have John Fetterman, who has now essentially all but been MAGA. So you've got him in your pocket, right? How many others at the last minute are going to make that flip? I don't know. But you could be right, Holly. We may have to have that filibuster, deleted before anything happens. But I just think I really don't know what to expect. In fact, let's do a survey here in the chat. If you think it's going to pass the Senate, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't think it's going to pass the Senate, put a 2. 1, you think it's going to pass. 2, you don't think it is. Real Alex said 2. Well, I thought for sure there'd be a 3 from Alex. Let's see. Let's see here. Dog Lover 2, Jan Lovin being Grandma 2, Joy 2, Tim Shaw 2, Andrea Lynn 2, Lovey's Mom 2, Q17 2, Hits 2, PJ Party 2, Pure Blood Holly Johns 2, Wildlife Fan 2, Lincraft 2, Benji, of course, with the 3. So it looks like Kevin Kisler 2, Magic 2, JP Metal Slayer 3, of course. But not one number 1. Oh, April Burgess said 1, I think positive. Well, it looks like you are. John Langlois said 1 eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it's what's that.
So for the filibuster to go away, like Holly said, 60 votes to overcome the filibuster for most legislation. Republicans hold a narrow majority at 52 to 40 or 52 to 53 seats. Post 2024 elections, the bill lacks bipartisan support. At least 7 to 8 Democratic votes which experts say is improbable. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has called it dead on arrival. They don't want this. Internal GOP reservations. Senate Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Arkansas have opposed it, labeling it federal overreach. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has ruled out changes to the filibuster, and other GOP members have voiced concerns. It's DOA. Political context. You've got Trump. You've got Elon. You've got a lot of people out there that are cheerleading this and saying that. I mean, it's the mandate. It's what the American people want. Again, go to another country and try to vote in their elections, but you can come here and vote in ours. Give me a break.
Right.
All these congressmen lose their jobs. They don't want it.
Exactly.
Not if we don't fix the system.
Exactly.
Like,
Portalis and Free to Wheel 32 over on Rumble. Free to Wheel said military is the only way. Absolutely. 100% I agree. All right. So, look who's creeping over on Facebook. It's Dave. Uh-huh. So what did they have some kind of a break at the casino? I mean, the farm show, Dave? Is that what happened?
the buffet at the casino must be closed.
Exactly. Dave said, James needs to smile more. Isn't that the truth, James? You're awfully serious. Oh, a sign language interstatism for Dave from James. JP Metal Slayer said JD Vance breaks the tie. Yeah, if it gets to that point where there's a tie, you're absolutely right. He would be the.
We're so far from a tie, though.
Yeah, it appears that way at this point, but who knows? I mean, with all that we've seen in the last few years, literally nothing would surprise me at this point. So, all right, everybody. So that's it for today. Let's see. We're at 106,000 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Before we sign off on the other platforms, I want to say some honorable mentions to Charlie, Layson Steele, Melissa Flinner, Martini Time, Wendy J, Lisa Maria, Benji 1959, PJ Party, and the list goes on. Thank you all for the gifts. All right, so we are going. Kathleen Paschke on Facebook's laughing too, and so is Richard Pacente. So we are going to sign off on Facebook and YouTube now. Everybody over there on those platforms, have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Don't forget, tomorrow's Health and Wellness.